Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 16th of March 2022 and the market seems to look good. There are a few points that I want to talk to you in regard to the macroeconomics as always. So the first part of this video is going to be news updates and macroeconomics, what is happening and likely to impact the market today. The second part is going to be a quick technical analysis of NASDAQ and VXN to see where it is going. And I now have a new live VIX feed. So which is what I'm going to use. I'm going to switch from VXN to the live feed that I have now. And after that, we'll be doing technical analysis of the Genomic shares. Let's get started. So in terms of the overall environment, the main thing today is at around 2:30, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is going to hold a news conference, and the street is expecting a 25 basis point interest rate increase announcement because we have been between 0 and 0.25 for since early 2020s. So that's the street expectation. The most important thing that the market is going to look for in Jerome Powell's address is going to be what is the outlook for Fed going forward. If there is any hawkishness in terms of a bigger interest rate hike or more interest rate hikes, then that could definitely impact the market negatively. Otherwise, the 25 basis point is already baked into the market situation right now. So if during the conference it happens that Jerome Powell says that it's 25 basis point now, and another 25 basis point somewhere in the May time period, and the total comes to around 0.9%, then I think the market is going to be okay with it. But if it's going to go higher than that, then I suspect that there'll be a slight drop in the market because that will suggest that the Fed has become bullish. We'll also have to look at the price of oil and see where it is going, because if the oil price continue to go down, that can lend to a slightly less hawkish Fed. So that's my thoughts. And the other good news is that Zelensky has mentioned that the talks with Russia are looking more realistic, and he feels that they need a little more time to make sure that Ukraine's interests are taken care of while agreeing to various conditions and bringing the conflict to an end. That's again a really good situation to be in. The third really good news item is coming from China. So the Chinese government has made a communication that they are going to be supportive of the real estate sector and the economy in general to make sure that they recover. And also they have mentioned that they would come about with a cooperation agreement so that all the US listed Chinese companies can have a much more stable outlook. So both of this is good. So I'd expect stocks like NIO and Alibaba to jump today. Already the two key indices on mainland China, that is the Shanghai Composite as well as Shenzhen Component, both have gained 3.5% and 4.5% respectively. So that's a really good precursor to beginning our day here today. It's around 9:33 a.m. right now, so the markets have just opened. We'll quickly go to have a look at it. One more piece of information that we have to keep in mind is that the FDA, Pfizer has made a submission to FDA saying that they believe that seniors and vulnerable people may need a fourth vaccine. So they have submitted data to FDA, and they're looking for approval to proceed further. So that's one information on the COVID front. And the other information on the COVID front is that in Europe, there seems to be a resurgence of COVID. So we'll have to watch what is happening in those areas. And we don't want any more lockdowns, any more impact on the hospitality and the travel sector and the retail sector. So with that hope, I think we have to look forward to today. And everything is looking much better than it did yesterday. And there's the promise of risks getting resolved. They have not been resolved. And also there is this 25 basis point assumption of the street, which could probably get solidified today when the Fed makes their decision. And once that is done, that uncertainty, even a little bit that was there, would be gone from that. So that all lends to a lower volatility, in my opinion, which in turn leads to a better outcome for NASDAQ. So at this point of time, we are in a turning point where we may potentially see the markets turning back upward. They may or may not go on a straight rocket-like path upward. They may start going on a slope rather mildly. And before long, you may suddenly find that the low prices that we are seeing today is gone. So keeping that in mind, there are a few things that we can do at this point of time to take advantage of the situation. One of the things which I have personally done is I have gotten rid of my really bad stocks, the ones that were bad decisions that had been performing badly and were down in the dumps even before all this downtrend started. I have been able to sell them, and I'm going to put that money into the stocks which are likely to gain faster. So that is one part of my strategy. The other thing that can be done is reallocation of your portfolio and moving from those shares which are not going to be your ultimate retirement portfolio and moving into really good quality dividend paying growth stocks, really good blue chip names, which are at a bargain basement price right now. So you can move your money into those shares. Or if, like in Canada, we have these retirement saving accounts which gives a tax credit at the end of the year. So this would be an ideal time to put the contributions into what we call as RRSP or 401k kind of accounts. And we have a tax-free savings account in which you can invest post-tax dollars, and any gains made in them is not taxed. So that's what we have in Canada. So this is an ideal time to move money into the tax-free savings account, multiply it so that at the end of the tax year, the money can go into the RRSP account and get tax credit back. So these are some of the things that you could do. I don't know how it works in the US, but something similar can be attempted in the US to put money into accounts that gives you a tax rebate at the end of the year, I suppose. So those are the things that we can do. Now, without further ado, let us get on and have a look at what the VIX is looking like and what the NASDAQ is doing. So right now in TradingView platform, I have got a live VIX feed, but I'm not able to get a live NASDAQ feed. It's still going to be delayed. So that's our only drawback. But hopefully that may change very soon and we may start getting live feeds. I'll stay tuned for that and get it as soon as it happens. So let's get started with the analysis of NASDAQ and VIX. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started with US oil. You can see that the US oil has gone up 3.6%, and this is not a good sign, and it's getting good support from the 50-day exponential moving average, which is this green bar out here. However, the MACD is bearish and the momentum is moving towards the average level. So typically in these situations, I would feel that the rising momentum is going to make the MACD turn towards the signal line and get bullish. So we'll have to wait and watch. But right now, if we go by MACD, we should see a drop in the oil prices. So if the oil prices are continuing to go high before the Fed meeting, that could also temper their message that they give out. So we'll have to wait and watch how things go. Hopefully oil price continues to decline like they seem to be doing right now. And by the time we have the Fed announcement, maybe oil is in the negative. So that's a positive way of looking at it. The other aspect of oil price going up further doesn't seem very appetizing at this point of time. So having said that, let us look at my new VIX. I have plotted the lines, resistance lines and support lines. So the VIX has now gone below our support, earlier support that we had. Just for you to have continuity, I'll show you the VX and the way it was. So we had this green support line and we had this red resistance line. So I have replicated that appropriately in the VIX out here. So I'm going to retain this red line only because that's going to be a support for the VIX when it falls down. So we need it to be there so that we know that there's a potential support out there that can help us in our decisions. This green line is now going to become a resistance because we have fallen below that. So that's a good news for us. And VIX has fallen 4.99% today, and the VXN, as you can see here, has fallen 5.2% today. So overall, they are moving in the same direction. So I'm comfortable going along with the real-time VIX that I have here. And let us look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has gained 2.92%. So it seems that this particular support line that we have is still valid. So we will not remove it for now. We'll see how it goes. Our 9-day exponential moving average is a resistance for us. And we also have two resistances. The first one is going to be at 13,031. And the second one is out here, this green line, which I have now marked as red. Here, this is the one, which is at 13,185.70. So those are the two resistance that we have got. This particular line out here, 12,865, is now a support because we have gone above it today. So right now the MACD is turning towards the signal line and the momentum is kind of picking up, and it is still below average. So I would like it to go above average so that I can have confidence that the MACD will continue to move aggressively away from the signal line in a bullish manner. That has not yet happened. Everything will depend on the Fed announcement as well as any other catalyst that comes around the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Now let us go and have a quick look at our biotech shares. Wow, this is looking amazing. I'm really happy to see everything in the green. Just going to sort this out so that we have the biggest winners on the top. So PACB is the winner today, 8.19% jump. Intelia is up 8.96%, Beam up 8.16%, Teladoc up 6.28%, CRISPR up 5.81%, ArcG up almost 5%. So those are all 5 and above. So there's a lot of strength in this green wave today. As you can see, Novartis and Vertex are at the very bottom out here. So let's get started with them first. Let's go to look at PACB. Our next resistance for PACB is at 10.37. Which we have identified here, and it's immediately being constrained by the 9-day exponential moving average, which is this yellow line here, and the orange line, which is the 20-day exponential moving average. MACD is turning bullish. It's right now bearish, but tending towards the signal line, and the momentum is picking up. And with the overall market sentiment being positive, there is a very good chance that we'll retain most of this positive gains today. However, tomorrow is a very different story. And also we have to be very careful around 2:30 p.m. when Fed Chairman Powell is going to make his speech. So with that caveat, let us proceed ahead. It seems good today. Intelia is up 8.92%, and our earlier resistance at 60.88 is now a support for us. MACD is turning towards the signal line. Even though it is bearish, it is trying to become bullish, and momentum has picked up from a very low position to below average, and we need it to go further and go above average in order for it to be of any meaning. We still have support at 60.88 and 56.47 for Intelia, and the 9-day exponential moving average is our immediate resistance. So it looks good today for Intelia at this point of time, assuming everything goes well and the positive catalyst remains in the market. Beam is up 8.04%. Again, the 9-day exponential moving average is a constraint for us, and we are still within the long-term bearish channel that we were in for Beam ever since 1st of July 2021, and that continues. The MACD is bullish. The MACD is bearish and trying to move towards the signal line as the case of other shares. The momentum is also pretty good. It's below average, but almost getting there. So the moment it becomes above average, I'll be happy about it. And we'll have plenty of space for it to run before RSI becomes overbought. So each of these candles, I must point out, is a 1-day candle, and we are in a long-term view. So let us go to Teladoc, which is up 6.44%. And you can see that we have gone above our earlier resistance of 54.58. So I'm going to mark this as a support. So it's a good milestone to cross. 9-day exponential moving average is still our next resistance. MACD is bearish, but it's turning towards the signal line. And the momentum is below average, but it is moving towards average. If it goes above average, I'll be happy about it. CRISPR is up 6.32%. It's being supported by the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. And it's also got a support just now from the 50-day exponential moving average, which stands at 63.73, and we are at 63.84 right now. So that's also good in my books. Our next resistance is 66.36. MACD being absolutely bullish and momentum being above average, I'm very confident about CRISPR for today. I think it's going to do well. ARCG is the next one, which is up 5.04%. I'm really happy for ARCG. After a long last, ARCG has got 2 consecutive days of green candles. And today we have just about got above the highs of 2 days ago when we dropped very significantly. So we just come out of the shadows of this red candle out here. And that's a good sign. Our 9-day exponential moving average is a constraint for us. MACD is bearish, but moving towards the signal line to go bullish. Momentum is below average, but it's pointed in the right direction. So once momentum becomes above average, I think we can seal the bullish thesis for ARCG. But we would take this positive for now and hope to see what happens with the Fed minutes and how the market reacts. Caribou Biosciences is up 4.43%, and the 9-day exponential moving average is the immediate constraint. And we have a MACD which has turned bullish, and the momentum is below average, but it's picking up. As I mentioned earlier, I want the momentum to be above average. It should be at least average or above average and pointing upwards for me to have a confidence in the bullishness. Right now, I don't have that for Caribou, so it could go either way. Editas is up 5.23%, that is 78 cents. And we have gone over our immediate resistance of 15.37. So I'm going to mark that resistance of 15.37 as a support. Right now we are at 15.68, and the 9-day exponential moving average is at 15.57. Therefore, we have the support of the 9-day exponential moving average, which is a very good thing. We have a resistance from the 20-day exponential moving average and a horizontal resistance at 18.20. I don't see us going to 18.20 by any stretch of imagination today. So our next challenge is the 20-day exponential average, which is at 16.19 cents. The MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up, though below average, it's going towards average. So as again, I've said before, as long as it goes above average, I would be happy. Next, let us go on to Allogene, which is up 4.23%. 9-day exponential moving average, again, is constraining us out there, acting as a resistance. MACD is bullish, momentum is below average and picking up. I want the momentum to go above average, and that's when I would feel confident about the bullishness. So the gains that you see here are iffy. The markets are still volatile, and we'll have to see what happens from the Fed meeting. And we'll also have to see how the market reacts to the Chinese positive news, as well as the positive news from President Zelensky. So all of that have got to factor into the market. So the bias overall seems positive, but I will hedge my bets. Illumina is up 3.54%, and we have just crossed the resistance at 322.88. Right now we are at 323.68. So I'm very happy to mark this resistance as a support. And our 9-day exponential moving average is also a support for us, and the 20-day exponential moving average, which sits at 323.36, is now a support for us. So we have converted that orange line also into a support. Our next resistance right now, if you want, I would be glad to plot the next resistance line, which I suspect would be somewhere out here. At 330.25. That's roughly the place where the next resistance is likely to be. MACD is bullish and moving upwards, and our momentum is picking up sharply, and it's going towards average, and I think it would go above average, and I would be confident that Illumina is going to gain further today. IMTX is up 2.07%. We have a perfect doji candle out here, as you can see. So there is an indecision out here. MACD is bullish, but we are still below all-time low when it comes to the MACD. And momentum is just about picking up, like investors have just discovered, oh, there's this shiny piece out here. Well, let us see what it is, something to that effect. But momentum is not anywhere near where it should be for a good stock. So I'm still tentative about the gains for IMTX today. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it will pick up after a couple of days. Verve is up 2.0%, and we are still within the shadow of yesterday's red candle. So I'm looking forward to see where we end the day. If we end the day with a green candle within this red, then that's a very big positive, because according to Japanese candlestick theory, that will be called as a bullish harami, which means it's a bullish sign that the next day there will be a open at a higher level, and there's a good chance for it to move, do a course correction and move upwards. So we look forward to that with regard to Verve. Right now, MACD is very bearish and the momentum is not very high. So it doesn't look great for Verve today. Bluebird is up 2.35%, and the 9-day exponential moving averages are constraint out here, acting as a resistance, and momentum has just got back into civilization, I would say, and things are starting to look slightly better. The MACD has also turned bullish for just this minute. So let us hope and assume that a dead cat bounce kind of effect would happen for Bluebird, because it's really badly beaten up, and the risk reward ratio is much better with Bluebird. So if the market participants are supportive and nothing untoward comes to in the news, we should see the momentum edging higher, and the MACD moving further away from the signal line and trying to go on upward and regain some lost ground. Next we go on to Regeneron, which is up 1.36%. Look at this chart. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's a steep raise, and we are also seeing the MACD seriously diverge away from the signal line. I love this. The only constraint I have here is that we are in the overbought state. So that is going to be a bit of moderation in prices, but I'm loving what I see here. Regeneron is looking great for today. Pfizer is up 0.54%, and we have a perfect doji candle out here. So there is indecision on what to do with Pfizer, and we are still within the shadow of yesterday's red candle, so that's not a good thing. However, MACD is bullish and the momentum is above average, and there's plenty of room for the RSI to become overbought. So I'm really happy with where Pfizer is, and I'm looking forward to more gains for Pfizer today. Vertex is down 0.13%, and we still have resistance from 248.18, which is the horizontal resistance. MACD is bullish and the momentum is above average, so I like that. So I'm hoping that today we'll challenge 248.13. Right now we are at 246.66. So I'm looking for some positives in Vertex, which is a pretty good company, and I have been bullish about Vertex for a while now. Let us just zoom out to a long distance view. Just see, it's looking really bullish. It's looking nice. This is looking like some sort of a cup and handle pattern. So I'm thinking that Vertex is going to do well in the near future. Novartis is up 0.05%. Our earlier resistance of 84.47 is now going to become a support. So I'm happy about that. And our 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average have now become a support for us. And the 50-day exponential moving average becomes a resistance for us at 85.47. Right now we are at 84.66. MACD is just about turning bullish, and the momentum is just below average. So if the momentum goes above average and MACD crosses over to the bullish side, I would be happy to see some positive gains on Novartis before end of market today. So my friends, that brings me to the close of this session. And thanks for being a subscriber here. And if you're new here and coming here for the first time, please subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it helps us to grow this channel and bring more good content for you. Please comment and let me have your feedback on where you think the market is going today. And don't forget, on Saturday, I have got a special coming on CRISPR, which is going to be fundamental analysis of CRISPR. And it's going to be very interesting, and I would like you to participate in that. So with that, let me bid you farewell and have a great day at the market. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.